head of the bunch. P5, I was starving for months. A running cut team, but on my pockets, me need my DNA. Baby for lunch, but call me a star before BBC. Don't take a lot to get rid of me. Me and them don't get the same.
Spread between 4th and 6th Streets in downtown Minneapolis. We welcome you inside spacious U.S. Bank Stadium. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Strap in, this will be a good one. 2 one-loss teams getting together as they're underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Now Hall to start the drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. This defense for the Bears, they were very strong in the win last week over the Giants.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long, step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away with 5 interceptions in that one.
Hall again on 2nd down. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. The Vikings at 3-1 here through their first 4 games. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid game.
10 more there and another 1st down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. 38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Throwing, Mayfield. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Bears are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Well, it's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions. Can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
And this will be a Bears 1st down as he'll get this up to about the 42. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The sack goes to Chris Barnes. Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Tanner Muse with it. And the Vikings are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Well, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes you're just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
Ball again on second down. And he is going to lose yardage here. It goes as a loss of 6. And now third down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
And the Bears in the nickel. No, wait, they're in the dime. 6 DBs out there on third.
Could play an exotic coverage.
Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. A tall task ahead of them here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Hunter Henry brings it in. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the first down. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll bring up fourth down. The Vikings send out their punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Meanwhile, Winston's throw into the hands of Pickens. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and run forward with Penny. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Again, it's Penny. And this will be a Bears first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
That's a very nice game there. A confidence-building run. Love the execution up front. And the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
2 first downs have him up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. To throw, Winston. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
One thing that offensive guys stress when they throw the deep ball, you're just counting on your receiver to find it, adjust before the defensive back can get his head around. In this case, though, the DB matched it move for move and knocked it away.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Here's Winston. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Bears. Jamison Williams, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bears get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Santos with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Mayfield on play action. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
For a team who came in here on a healthy winning streak, we're seeing some uncharacteristically bad play thus far. And that streak is definitely in jeopardy if this offense keeps giving the ball away and can't mount a few drives of their own.
Following the interception, Winston. He's going to go for a big play downfield. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you can just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears weren't realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
Yeah, and the next-gen stats showing that at an even 57 yards through the air. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14, Vikings, nothing.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Play fake, Mayfield. Got his man, Robbie Anderson. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a first down.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
51 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And now Mayfield on the bootleg. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
On second down, a run with Hall. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard. So from second and long, now we go to third and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in four-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And he will have a Vikings first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
Well, that was big right there because they're the bottom 5 in the league in converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. First down, Mayfield. That is caught by Anderson. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Mayfield. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
King! Hey, alert!
Back to the ground with Hall. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. 3 tight ends up front here, 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it here with Hall. 6 yards puts them right on the doorstep, but now it'll be 4th and goal. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
They'll go for it. It's Hall. And he didn't get there. Knocked backwards to the 2-yard line. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Chicago defense able to come up with a goal line stand. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Ready!
On second down, here's Penny. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first. The CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, But also, when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast, the linebackers don't have a chance to react. Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field, but his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now Winston. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller, and his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
So that potentially an important takeaway here in this 2nd quarter.
Because what it does is give their offense a chance to put a drive together. They've got nothing on the scoreboard so far, so you have to think that they need something before the break. And now they have an opportunity.
A give running right is Hall. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line.
Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. DK Metcalf from 19 yards away. And the Vikings have got it back to within a score. Gano the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Touchdown here to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Well, still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that mistake here on this drive.
And to put a positive spin on it, at least it happened in the first half and not in a close game in the 4th quarter, but you're absolutely right, partner. One of the last things this offensive quarterback wants to witness again in this game.
Kind of an obvious question, Charles, but anything you try to avoid after your first pick, or you say it's 1 interception, we're still in the first half, I'm going to do the same thing?
I think you want to avoid playing scared, and put it into the mind of the quarterback that you've lost confidence in him. Make sure you get some throws that he's going to be able to complete, make him feel good about himself, and continue to run your offense.
So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. Inside handoff, Penny. Oh, able to avoid him. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
88 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Off the play fake, Winston. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears.
George Pickens
with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year.
And the Bears have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now 21-7.
21, Vikings 7. Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Mayfield off the play fake. And this one caught by Max Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Mayfield to throw it. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And Mayfield again with the interception, his third. Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Bears are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. 3 first-half interceptions now, and Charles, you'd have to think a fair amount of concern is developing over there on that sideline.
And there should be, because essentially he's been a little loose and possibly reckless with the football here in the first half. Now, maybe it's not all on him, but still 3 interceptions. That puts the entire team in jeopardy. So the play caller from here on out got to design some throws for him that he can complete, keep it away from the defense, and try and get him back on track.
Winston's throw going into the hands of Williams. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. Jameis to throw it. Lines up and lets it go for Samuel. And, Jameis intercepted a third time. Picked off by Caleb Farley. And the Vikings are going to take over here up near the 40. But Charles, you're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They'll start on the ground. Hall. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. Second down. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, there were 3 talking points at the half, partner. All of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think think they told him, guys, if he wants to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Throwing. Winston. Under pressure, they got him again. Chris Barnes picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Now that's the way to start the second half. Back-to-back sacks. Whatever the halftime speech was, I hope they recorded it.
Back-to-back sacks have this place in a frenzy as they line up again, third and long now. Winston now. He's going to wind up and air it out. He's got a man complete. Touchdown, Chicago. Jameis Winston with his fourth touchdown pass of the afternoon.
And the Bears have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
Santos with the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Viking 7. Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Hey, alert, 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 alert! Kings, Kings, Kings!
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
33.
They go play action. Mayfield steps away.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going, trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect him to have more completions to him in this game.
And taken right at the 35. It'll be a 39-yard punt. Give him a good 10 yards on the return.
It will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They're just looking for more of the same. Great first half so far, good second half. And well, sometimes I guess maybe, Charles, these coaches, they don't have to tell these guys much when they're rolling like they're rolling right now.
You're exactly right. I've heard stories of some of the best coaches in our time or any time having grabbed their staffs at halftime and said, guys, they're playing really well. Don't go in there and give them a whole lot of stuff. Just pat them on the back, and essentially the speech at halftime is, let's go, guys, and that's it.
Yeah, no one's upset the apple cart so far. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Winston on 3rd and 2. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Here's Sam Martin now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Crowder now to return. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions. Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
To throw, Mayfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Patrick Queen.
And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
Well, if there was any thought that this thing might turn around for this offense in the second half, I think those thoughts pretty well dashed after that interception return there.
It just has not been a good outing for this unit whatsoever. There's no other way to say it. They've been overmatched, haven't performed to the level that they've needed, and that throw there is just going to contribute to this game getting out of hand.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
It was Frank Clark that time who got in there to bring him down.
Speedy, elusive, always a threat to get to the quarterback. Frank Clark remains a high-end defender and made his 3rd straight Pro Bowl in 2021.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. Here's Mayfield. And now here's another interception. Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Bears are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. Well, there's 2 sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard. But also, you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player. You have to know the situation.
Penny on the toss right. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there that brings up 4th. There's Sam Martin now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. Now it's Crowder. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
A first down throw for Mayfield.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Mayfield.
This pass out wide to Hall.
And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw and a good one.
Give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45.
Point it right.
Mayfield looks to throw. Got it, man. It's De'Ami Brown, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, 22.
This game well in hand. Perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 140 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception.
Jeremy Chin picks it off. And the Bears are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line.
Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Tanner Muse there defensively.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner. 100 yards or more in a game.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
The Bears on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Winston. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked up by Caleb Farley.
And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone.
And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep, and they'll get him down right around the 16. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
Let's go.
They'll toss it out right here to Hall.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points.
Now Mayfield. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Bears are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And now here is another interception.
Tanner Muse with him. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And I'm starting to wonder, Charles, if 5 interceptions, is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been at the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
Hall again on 2nd down.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Breece Hall, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit.
Extra point try, good by Gano. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Gano now following the touchdown, here to kick it away.
Good catch. Made at the 25-yard line. The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Certainly no reason to panic. They've got the 3-score lead, but the turnover last time, the interception that led to a touchdown, you'd have to think that you might not be dialing that up again.
Yeah, probably not. They're still in fantastic shape, though, so I would imagine before he trotted out here for this series, head coach probably just leaned over to him and was like, listen, we're wearing these color shirts. Throw it to those guys, not the others. Try to make a joke out of it and just let them go out there with a little bit more confidence.
Meanwhile, Winston's throw, it's complete into the hands of Higbee.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears 1st down. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it. They got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for 2nd down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd and short. From the gun, a give to Penny. And he's got some space here.
And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 118 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Winston. Open man, Higbee, the tight end.
And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, you know, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. And they take a knee. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears, and it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headlines tomorrow, and for good reason. They forced 5 turnovers in this game.
And while we were watching this game unfold, I kept thinking about when we did our training camp tour and something that you noticed along the way. Just about every